The drama begins with Kim Hye-in, a high school student who, on the outside, seems to have everything under control, but on the inside lives fighting against a pretty harsh reality. She is intelligent, hardworking, and almost always ranks among the best in her class, but she comes from a humble family, and that weighs on her more than she admits. While other young people dream of parties, trips, or expensive clothes, she lives calculating expenses, taking small jobs, and feeling that no matter how hard she tries, there is always an invisible barrier separating her from the rich. That is why she looks at them with resentment. In her mind, they were born with life already solved, while she has to sweat even for the basics. One day, while riding the bus, she sees a post about Cheongdam International High School, an elite school where the children of powerful families study. There, the students seem to live on another planet. They buy extremely expensive motorcycles without blinking, reserve entire restaurants as if it were nothing, and throw away luxury gifts when they are not useful to them. To Hye-in, that world is as irritating as it is fascinating. She finds out that tuition costs a fortune, and although she knows she cannot pay for it, she begins to imagine what her life would be like if she could enter there. That fantasy sticks in her head like a temptation. Looking for money, Hye-in pretends to be older and passes herself off as a university student to work as a private tutor for a rich girl. When she arrives at the mansion, she is shocked by the size of the house, the furniture, the clothes, and the ease with which that family treats luxury as if it were the most normal thing. The girl's mother hires her because she believes Hye-in is a brilliant and responsible young woman. What she does not know is that she is still a high school student. The humiliation starts quickly. When an employee serves cookies, the mother throws a classist comment at her about how expensive they are, as if Hye-in did not even have the right to try them. She feels small, but she swallows the shame. At the same time, her own life does not improve. At school, she loses the opportunity to attend a camp because another student receives the scholarship instead of her. At home, she sees her father exhausted, saving even on taxis in order to cover the family's expenses. That scene hits her hard. It hurts her to want more, but it also hurts her to see that her family can barely breathe financially. That frustration grows when the rich girl she tutors shows off a bag worth thousands of dollars as if it were worth nothing. Hye-in tells her that that money could support her for a year, but the girl only mocks her and offers her the bag to humiliate her. For a second, Hye-in thinks about accepting it and selling it to pay for the camp, but she immediately understands that it was a trap to remind her that she is still poor. That resentment pushes her to make bad decisions. One day, she arrives early at the rich girl's house, sees the bag lying around, and tries it on. She takes pictures, uploads them to Instagram, and without planning it too much, invents a fake version of herself. At her school, her classmates see the posts and begin to believe that she is secretly rich. At first, Hye-in gets scared, but then she decides to play along. She says confidently that yes, she has money, that she does not show off so she will not make others uncomfortable, and that she works only because she wants to be independent. The lie works. From one day to the next, she goes from being an invisible student to someone admired, talked about, and followed. That attention intoxicates her. She takes more and more risks. She enters the rich girl's room, tries on clothes, jewelry, bags, and even the elite school uniform. She posts photos hinting that she will soon study there. But the game ends when the owner of the things returns earlier than expected, finds Hye-in's phone, and discovers all the posts. Instead of exposing her immediately, she decides to take advantage of her. She demands that she do her homework, fulfill her whims, and act as her personal assistant. Hye-in accepts because she has no way out. In this way, the lie that gave her popularity ends up turning into a chain. The rich girl begins to exploit her mercilessly. She takes her shopping so she can carry bags, orders her to run errands, and even forces her to miss an important exam with a cruel lie. Hye-in runs home thinking there is an emergency, but when she arrives, she discovers they only wanted to mock her. She misses the evaluation and locks herself in the bathroom to cry. There, a kind student offers her a tissue and removes an offensive note that someone stuck on her back. That simple gesture surprises her, because it comes from someone who also knows what it means to be treated as less. That girl, who studies at the elite school on scholarship, has suffered the contempt of the rich and already tried to report them, although the institution protected the privileged and ended up unfairly expelling another scholarship student. Tired of enduring everything, Hye-in decides to take revenge. She goes to Baek Jae-na's admission interview, the rich girl, and empties a bucket of water over her in front of everyone. Jae-na is humiliated, fails the interview, and her mother becomes furious. From that point on, Hye-in's life collapses. Jae-na's family reports that she lied in order to work as a tutor and even accuses her of stealing jewelry. At her school, everyone discovers that the Instagram photos were fake and they start mocking her. Hye-in is left without reputation, without support, and with the fear that her friend, who lent her clothes and documents to help her, will also pay for her mistakes. Desperate, Ha-in goes to Cheongdam International High School to apologize and beg them to admit Jae-na, as long as they withdraw the lawsuit. The director treats her with contempt, makes it clear that the school's reputation is worth more than the truth, and orders her to be thrown out. She ends up crying in an abandoned bathroom, where she runs into a student who was smoking. At first, she thinks he is a pervert, but he explains that almost no one uses that bathroom because a girl died there. Then, seeing her so lost, he helps her jump over the wall and leaves her waiting in his car. That night, the twist that changes everything happens. Ha-in falls asleep in the car and wakes up late. When she gets out, she sees something falling from the rooftop. To her horror, it is the same kind student who had helped her before. The girl is gravely injured, and when Ha-in looks up, she manages to see a silhouette. It does not seem like an accident. Someone pushed her. She screams for help, the ambulance arrives, and the police take her statement. But when the director finds out, he does not think about the victim. He only worries about protecting the school's image. He decides to say it was a suicide attempt and looks for a way to silence Ha-in, the only inconvenient witness. That same night, Baek Jae-na appears at Ha-in's house with an unexpected attitude. She thanks her, because thanks to the scandal, the director ended up accepting her into the school. In addition, she promises not to press charges. Ha-in does not understand anything. Then she receives a call from the director, who offers her a deal. If she stays silent about what she saw on the rooftop, he will admit her into the prestigious school without paying tuition. Ha-in hesitates, because she knows that smells bad, but the opportunity is too big. She dreams of escaping her poor life, so she accepts the pact. She decides to enter that world, even if the entrance is stained with silence. When she arrives at Cheongdam, at first she feels like she is in a movie. The campus is enormous, with perfect facilities and luxuries everywhere. But that illusion does not last long. Baek Jae-na, now turned into the queen of the school, recognizes her and swears to destroy her. Jae-na leads a group of rich students who treat scholarship students as if they were trash. Soon, Ha-in receives her welcome to hell. They harass her, chase her, humiliate her, and make it clear that she does not belong there. When she tries to ask the director for help, he reminds her of their deal with a cold smile. He already admitted her, now surviving is her problem. In the middle of that violence appears Seo Do-yeon, an attractive and powerful student because he is the director's son. At first, Ha-in believes he might be her salvation, especially because he protects her in front of everyone and treats her kindly. But later she discovers that he did not approach her for romance. Do-yeon is in love with a scholarship girl who ended up in a coma and wants to know who pushed her from the rooftop. Ha-in, cornered and cunning, pretends to know more than she actually knows and proposes a deal. She will help him with information, but he must protect her from the bullies. Do-yeon reluctantly accepts, and from then on he takes her to school, holds her hand in front of everyone, and makes it clear that whoever touches her will have problems. Do-yeon's protection changes the way Ha-in is treated, but it does not eliminate the danger. The rich students begin to pretend cordiality, although they still see her as an intruder. They even invite her to a party, and she, wanting to fit in, borrows an extremely expensive dress from the girl she used to tutor. The dress costs a fortune and must be returned intact. At the party, Jae-na sets up a perfect trap. They push her, spill a drink on her, and then kick her out as if she were a nuisance. Ha-in returns home defeated, with the dress ruined and an impossible debt to pay. Her family cannot help her, and she begins to sell her things, even her laptop, to gather money. Do-yeon finds out about the humiliation and confronts Jae-na, but she accuses him of letting himself be manipulated by a poor girl, just like, according to her, his stepmother manipulated his father. There, part of Jae-na's resentment is revealed. She hates poor people because she believes they all want to take advantage of the rich. At home, she lives a silent war with her stepmother, a woman from a humble background who now controls the family fortune and is pregnant, which threatens Jae-na's place as heiress. That anger explains her cruelty, although it does not justify it. Jae-na does not only want to rule the school, she wants to crush anyone who reminds her of how vulnerable she feels. Meanwhile, Ha-in tries to get out of debt and gets into another dangerous situation when an art student suggests asking for help from a rich student who supposedly lends money. The boy accepts, but sets a shady condition. He wants her to work as his model and starts taking uncomfortable photos of her. Ha-in manages to leave, ashamed that she had been willing to sacrifice her dignity for money. That experience hits her because she understands how far the desire to belong to the elite has dragged her. The rooftop mystery continues to grow. In dreams, Ha-in remembers a necklace that remained in her hand the night the scholarship student fell. She understands that it may be a clue to the attacker. At the same time, she discovers that the art student who helped her was not so innocent. She was the one who recorded her talking with the victim and now uses that video to blackmail her. The artist wants to blame Baek Jae-na for the attack, not because she has clear evidence, but out of revenge. In the past, she was rich and friends with Jae-na, but when her father was imprisoned and her family fell, Jae-na rejected her and treated her as poor. Since then, she hates her and wants to see her sink. The artist demands that Hae-in accuse Jae-na or she will publish the video that proves she was a witness and accepted the director's deal. Hae-in feels trapped. If she lies, she destroys someone without evidence. If she tells the truth, she could lose everything. In the strangest moment, she runs into Baek Jae-na, and Jae-na herself, instead of insulting her, recognizes her courage. She tells her to stop acting like a victim, to fight for what is hers, and not to let herself be crushed. Hae-in is surprised, but those words give her strength back. She decides not to be anyone's puppet. With Seo Do-yeon's help, Hae-in prepares a move. She gathers those involved and confronts the art student. The artist tries to pressure her, but Hae-in refuses to accuse Jae-na without evidence. She wants to discover the true culprit. Little by little, more pieces appear. The necklace, the movements on the rooftop, the secrets of the rich students, and the way the school covers anything to protect their influential families. The school stops being only a place of luxury and reveals itself as a machine where everyone is hiding something. The elite group, known as Diamond 6, has more power than many adults. Its members cover for one another, manipulate rumors, destroy reputations, and use money as a shield. Hae-in, who once dreamed of being part of that world, begins to see that wealth does not always bring freedom. Sometimes it only brings fear, loneliness, and the obligation to maintain a perfect facade. Baek Jae-na, for example, lives surrounded by admirers, but she trusts no one. Seo Do-yeon carries the love and guilt for the girl in a coma. The artist lives consumed by resentment. And Hae-in, who entered looking for a better life, ends up trapped between blackmail and dangerous truths. As she investigates, Hae-in also changes. She is no longer just the girl who envies the rich or the liar who wants to appear wealthy. She is still ambitious, yes, and sometimes she makes huge mistakes, but she begins to understand that surviving does not mean stepping on others. She also discovers that Baek Jae-na is not a simple villain. Jae-na has a strange code, cruel but firm. She cannot stand being humiliated, but she also does not like being manipulated by others. On several occasions, although she treats Hae-in harshly, she ends up giving her advice that helps her not break. A strange relationship is born between them. Enemies, rivals, almost allies when danger forces them to be. The truth about the girl who fell from the rooftop becomes increasingly urgent. The victim remains in a coma, and those who loved her seek justice. The unfairly expelled student, who also suffered the abuse of the rich, stays close to the hospital and swears to avenge her. Do-yeon wants to know who hurt her because he loved her. Hae-in carries the guilt of having accepted silence. And the director tries to move pieces so nothing stains the institution. Everything points to the answer being inside the school itself, among students who believe money makes them untouchable. The pressure explodes when evidence begins to come out. Messages, recordings, and secrets show that several students had reasons to want to silence the scholarship girl. She was not weak. She had gathered information against the abusers and could expose them. That is why many preferred to see her out of the way. Hae-in understands that the kind girl did not fall by chance, but because she dared to look a rotten system in the face. That idea weighs on her, because she herself was almost about to sell the truth for a uniform and tuition. Finally, Hae-in decides to confess what she knows and risk the place she desired so much. In a public confrontation inside the school, it is revealed that the director manipulated the version of the case, that several students participated in harassment and cover-ups, and that the supposedly untouchable hierarchy was nothing more than a network of fear. Baek Jae-na also takes advantage of the chaos to resolve her own family war. With intelligence and coldness, she takes important shares of her family's company, taking power away from the stepmother and the father who had left her at the mercy of that situation. She does not do it like a spoiled girl, but like someone who learned that, in her world, if she does not take control, others will take it for her. The true person responsible for the attack ends up exposed and expelled, while the school can no longer keep pretending that everything is normal. Hae-in faces those who tried to use her, including the artist who wanted to force her to lie. She makes it clear that she will not carry other people's guilt or serve as a weapon for personal revenge. Seo Do-yeon, for his part, begins to understand that protecting the girl he loves also means accepting the truth, even if it hurts. And Baek Jae-na, despite her personality, recognizes that Hye-in had the courage to do what many rich people would never dare to do. Put her future at risk to tell the truth. Afterward, Hye-in ends up entering the circle that once seemed impossible. The Diamond Six. To her, that badge at first feels like proof that she has finally leveled up. She is no longer the girl from the supermarket, nor the poor student everyone could step on. Now she walks the same hallways as the elite, sits near those who rule, and receives looks of respect, although many of them are fake. But the closer she gets to the center of power, the more she understands that this group does not work like a friendship. It is an alliance of convenience, full of secrets, debts, threats, and betrayals. There, no one helps for free, no one forgives out of kindness, and everyone keeps something to use when it becomes useful. Baek Jae-na also begins to use Hye-in in her own way. Sometimes she humiliates her, other times she defends her, and other times she pushes her into situations that only benefit herself. At an important party, she gets her address identical to Min Yul-hee's, another powerful girl who competes for status and wants to be above everyone. Hye-in arrives believing that she will finally be able to look elegant, but she discovers too late that she was used as a piece in someone else's game. Min Yul-hee feels ridiculed when she sees a scholarship student wearing the same dress as hers, and in full rage she throws a drink on her to ruin her. This time, Hye-in does not stay crying. Tired of being everyone's target, she hits her with a blow that leaves the room in silence. For the first time, the rich understand that this girl did not come to lower her head. Even so, that small victory brings consequences. The video of the party spreads through the school and Min Yul-hee swears revenge. Meanwhile, Seo Do-eon begins to lose his own power. His father resigns as director, and he stops being untouchable. That exposes the scholarship girl who was in a coma, because when she wakes up, she shows a colder side than expected. She approaches Do-eon when she believes he can still be useful to her, but when she sees that he no longer has the position he had before, she pushes him away mercilessly. Do-eon understands that he was used, just like many others at that school. The love he felt mixes with disappointment, and everything becomes even more bitter. Min Yul-hee, who knows how to take advantage of any weakness, allies herself with that scholarship girl to bring down Baek Jae-na. The plan is dirty. Plant prohibited substances in her locker and make her look guilty. Baek Jae-na falls into the trap, and the test comes out positive because her own stepmother also gets involved in the game, altering her food to make sure everything goes wrong. She is expelled, her father does not believe her, and he freezes her accounts to force her to go abroad. From one day to the next, the queen of the school is left without a throne, without money, and without a safe home. And then something unexpected happens. She ends up knocking on Hye-in's door. Hye-in could close the door in her face. After all, Jae-na made her life impossible. But she does not. She lets her in, serves her food, and offers her a place to sleep. Her father also receives her with a warmth that Jae-na does not know in her own home. That night, the girl who always treated the poor as enemies discovers what a simple but real family is. Hye-in even lends her a jacket because she knows Jae-na is not used to the cold without her car and luxuries. That gesture breaks something inside her. For the first time, Jae-na truly regrets having mistreated her. Baek Jae-na visits her biological mother, hospitalized for depression, and there she receives the hug she needed so much. The transferred student who truly loves her also appears, bringing her flowers and treating her with respect. He proposes marriage to her, not as a fairy tale fantasy, but as a way of telling her that he does not care about her fall or her family problems. Jae-na accepts and begins to rise again. Shortly after, she proves her innocence and returns to school. But while she regains her balance, Hye-in becomes trapped again. Min Yul-hee has a compromising video of her, recorded without permission, and threatens to publish it if she does not betray Jae-na during the engagement ceremony. Hye-in sinks into unbearable guilt. If she obeys, she destroys a person who has just begun to trust her. If she does not obey, the video could reach her father, ruin her life, and expose her in front of everyone. The pressure becomes so strong that for a moment she walks to a bridge and thinks about giving up. But she stops. She remembers her father, the trust he always gave her, and the way he told her that he would support her even if she made mistakes. That conversation saves her. Hye-in understands that she can no longer keep allowing others to control her life with fear. So she decides to do the hardest thing. Tell the truth, even if it costs her everything. On the day of Baek Jae-na's engagement, the school is full of students, families, and cameras. Min Yul-hee expects Hye-in to go up on stage and betray Jae-na. But Hye-in takes the microphone and does the opposite. She confesses that she entered the school thanks to a deal with the director and that she saw something the night the student fell from the rooftop. Then she points to Min Yul-hee as the real responsible one. The villain tries to take revenge by releasing Hyun's video on the screens, but Lee Sarang intervenes from the control room, cuts the transmission, and deletes the material before it becomes public. Hyun, trembling, manages to breathe and continues. Then she shows the necklace that remained in her hand the night of the accident. That necklace connects Min Yul-hee to the fall. After that, even stronger evidence appears. A recording where Min Yul-hee's former fiancé admits that she pushed the girl and that he helped hide traces. Seo Do-yeon also reveals audios that compromise the director, proving that he knew too much and kept quiet because of bribes. The press witnesses everything. No matter how much they try to stop the scene, it is already too late. The truth comes out live, in front of everyone who once believed themselves untouchable. Min Yul-hee loses control. She screams, tries to attack, but security stops her. She is expelled and warned that the next thing will be facing lawyers and possibly prison. Hyun confronts her one last time and makes it clear that it is over. There is no crown, no club, no money enough to cover up what happened. At the same time, Baek Jae-na confirms her own move. She took the family company shares away from her stepmother and the transferred student, becoming president. She decides to live with her biological mother and run the company alongside her, leaving behind the father who never knew how to protect her. With all that scandal, Hyun stops seeing the school as a dream and begins to see it as a warning. There she learned that poverty hurts, but that wealth can also rot people when it is used to humiliate. She also understands that her envy was born from feeling invisible, not from truly wanting to become someone cruel. Baek Jae-na, on her side, understands that money did not protect her from loneliness and that a true family can feel stronger at a simple table than in a mansion full of secrets. And Seo Do-yeon is marked by a loss that cannot be repaired, but at least he manages to get justice for the girl he loved. None of them come out completely clean, but all of them come out different. That is why, when Hyun looks back, she does not feel proud of all her decisions. She knows she lied, that she let ambition cloud her judgment, and that she accepted silence when someone needed justice. But she also knows that, in the end, she chose to correct the path. That nuance makes her more human. She is not a perfect heroine, but a girl who made many mistakes before understanding that the way out was not in looking rich, but in no longer feeling inferior. And that lesson, although it arrives late and with scars, ends up being more valuable than any uniform, expensive bag, or place inside the most exclusive club in the school. Because for the first time, Hyun no longer wants to enter someone else's world, she wants to build her own. And that, to her, is worth much more than pretending. Without asking for permission. Never. When everything ends, Hyun takes off the Diamond 6 badge and throws it into the river. That gesture carries a lot of weight. At first, she would have given anything to belong to that circle, to wear that uniform and be seen as someone important. But after living through humiliations, blackmail, and danger, she understands that world is not worth her peace. She no longer wants to build her life on lies or depend on the approval of people who measure a person's value by their money. She wants to start over, even if it is from the bottom, but with a cleaner conscience. Time passes, and Hyun returns to work to support herself. She does not suddenly become rich, and not everything gets fixed like a fairy tale, but she is no longer the same. She learned to look at the rich without idealizing them and to look at herself without despising herself. One day, Baek Jae-na appears again and offers her a position in her company. Hyun refuses because she wants to achieve things through her own effort. Jae-na, as if she already expected that answer, hands her a huge check, $1 million, so she can study and enter any university she wants. Hyun is left speechless. It is not just money, it is a real opportunity to change her future without having to sell herself or lie. In the end, Hyun decides to use that opportunity to study and make her father proud. The story does not present her as a saint or as a perfect victim. She lied, envied, made mistakes, and wanted to climb socially at any cost. But she also learned, faced her fears, and chose the truth when it was hardest to do so. And that is why the ending feels fair. She does not win because she becomes part of the rich, but because she stops needing to pretend in order to feel valuable. Her true victory is not entering the elite, but leaving it knowing who she is and what life she wants to build. End of the drama.